I've always wanted to, but what's stopping you from being that person you want to be? What thoughts are you running through your head constantly that then create images, that then create words that you produce and put out into the universe that create real vibration? So if you want to keep on saying, I always wanted to, but you can keep your butt. Welcome to Martial Art Mindset. My name is Calvin,
And my name is Kevin.
and we are the Blasian
Blasian
Twins. Martial Arts Mindset is a podcast that we started because we've been doing martial arts for 23 years, and we just want to share the knowledge that we've learned and gained and are continuing to learn, continuing to build our own mindsets, our mentality, our way of life, awareness, all sorts of things that tie together mainly mind, body, and spirit. Definitely bringing you a perspective of martial arts that we really want to share and bring more to the world. So have more conversations, have more people talking about these kind of things. Now, we got a big goal. We have a really big goal. We want to get 1 million people to either continue on who stop doing martial arts or start their martial arts journey. And we're going to create some ways that you can do that. One way is by subscribing, listening to the podcast, following us on social media, keeping up with us because we post our martial arts content. We've gotten to be on television shows. One of the most notable shows we've been on is Black Lightning. We've gotten to work on all 3 seasons so far.
That's amazing.
And we're kind of official characters in the DC universe, so it's pretty dope, you know. So we want you to help us reach that goal of 1 million people to either start their martial arts journey or continue it, and also share it with somebody you know, at least one person that you know. Hey, I know you do martial arts. There's a podcast about it.
Even if you don't do martial arts, this podcast is also to be able to take the mindset and apply it to other parts of your life. So even if you're just a listener, share it to other people.
Right. We just want to be able to share the love that we have of martial arts and for the craft and make the impact that Bruce Lee did, because there's so many people that say, I started martial arts because of Bruce Lee. That was definitely us.
That was us.
I mean, you can name the movie. And I'm sure everybody who's, you know, part of the older generation, but our generation for sure, Enter the Dragon. And we just want to create a space for martial artists to be able to communicate, where we can speak with other martial artists, where y'all can share questions, y'all can give us podcast ideas, and
we don't
can
even
talk
mind
about those
this.
things.
Correcting us on anything that we say.
Yes, fact check us. We know how y'all do the politicians and everybody else. You know, we
Just
like
don't
to
be
fact
that
check.
hard on us, but yeah, we don't mind correction.
Right. And we, you know, we'll see where this goes. We just had to set up the cameras for ourselves, boom, 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 set up the mics for ourselves, and just put ourselves in this position, because nobody else is going to do it for us right now. And if we're just sitting around waiting, then it's never going to happen. So we're so glad we started this podcast.
I actually wanted to share another movie that I think everybody should watch. It's one that I watched all the time just growing up. It's a little over the top, but I love that about it. It has such good mentality in it too, and philosophy and mindset. That movie is Tai Chi Master with Jet Li.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say anything. Just watch it.
Just watch it. It's action-packed the whole way through, but it has a really good story, and that's what I love about it.
We're going to have to start a movie podcast, because we're not just martial artists, we're filmmakers. We went to film school at the University of Alabama. That's why we're putting this together. We're like, well, we work for other people putting together productions and shooting. Why aren't we shooting our stuff?
So yeah, that's one thing that we will learn, and we can keep giving movie recommendations, martial arts movie recommendations.
Yes,
right?
movies, books. Shoot,
If you
even
guys
music.
got some for us to recommend to us, we would appreciate.
Please share it in the comments somewhere. Whatever way you can. Hey, contact us. We're open for it.
The Blasian Twins
at gmail.com.
That's also our handle on all social media.
So, all right, let's get into it. What's the topic? He's been wanting to talk about this. Kevin's been like, hey,
you want to talk about it too?
I know.
I brought it up to you.
Go
ahead,
ahead,
bro. You want to talk about this?
Let's talk it. Let's talk it through. What is it that's been on your mind as far as martial arts?
You talking about today, this week, or
no? For what we're sharing today.
Oh, what's been on my mind?
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to, and one thing that martial
Say
arts,
it again.
I've always wanted to, but
that butt is big.
And that phrase we say to ourselves, that butt can change the whole situation.
That's a big old butt. I've always wanted to, but see, I have the philosophy, if you have to use the word but, it just negates what you said before it. So go ahead.
I can't really disagree with that. I guess we're done here. No, but
so, podcast over. There's your knowledge for you. And
yeah, but I've always wanted to. So one thing that I've always wanted to do is martial arts. That's why we're here today. I've been doing martial arts for 23 years. So I've always wanted to do martial arts. I really don't have a butt after that. But let's...
I mean, I got a butt. But not that butt.
Yeah, not that one. So what's a way you use that phrase?
I don't use that phrase.
If you have used it in the past. So I know, because everybody's used that phrase.
At some point in time.
And you have to be able to overcome.
But like I just told you, with me having that philosophy, if you say the word but, what you said before that doesn't mean anything.
Okay. When did that philosophy start for you?
I heard somebody else say that. I can't really pinpoint it.
Was it like high school?
It was high school, I believe. It had to be. But it just really resonated. It's like, dang. So I use the word but if I want to purposefully, like if I'm speaking rhetorically or something.
Oh, so like using it almost like a tool. A tool in expression, right?
Right. As it should be.
That's what all words are, right?
Yeah. But the word but in the context that you're putting it as is, but this is holding me back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I would if the time, right? What people like to say a lot, I used to say it a lot, when the stars align, what is stopping you from getting started in this wonderful craft, in this wonderful lifestyle of mind, body, and spirit? So go ahead, elaborate.
And yeah, here's another one. This is one thing that I hear all the time being a martial artist. So I'll start a conversation with somebody. This has happened. You've probably heard it a lot. And then I'll tell them I do martial arts. I teach martial arts. I've been doing it for pretty much all my life. And then I hear people say the phrase, I've always wanted to do martial arts, but I'm not fit enough. No. I've always wanted to do martial arts, but I hurt my knees. I don't think I can do it anymore. I've always wanted to do martial arts, but that was when I was younger. Those days are behind me. So what do you think about that?
To tell you the truth, what I thought about was, a couple things. The first thing, what's the phrase that Daddy used to say to us all the time? Go ahead.
Think another phrase.
I think I'm not even going to say it.
Our whole family knows this
phrase. Go ahead and say it.
Okay. What is the range of an excuse? If I put an excuse in a gun and shot it, how many meters would it go?
The answer is 0 meters. And our dad used to say that to us all the time because it's true. I can make up all these excuses, all these other things of why or because, Doesn't matter. If you really want it, you'll do it. Second thing that came to my mind, there's this show called Baki on Netflix.
Okay, if you don't know,
series.
if
Go
you
ahead,
don't know what Baki is, it's an overly testosterone,
over the top, like
over the top.
over the top. It's you got to kind of get ready for it. We're telling you how freakishly over the top it
Like
is. It's crazy.
There's a lot of gore. There's a lot of just masculinity.
But we'll talk about that context because I want to talk about it a little bit, and then we'll get back to this. But why I brought the show Baki up, there's this episode in season 3. Now, if you don't watch any other seasons, watch season 3, the tournament. Yeah, because there's this match between this 140-year-old man who is known as the top Chinese martial artist because he's been studying for 100 years or longer.
And people fear him.
People are scared of him, but he's this old man in this wheelchair, pushing, barely move, barely just doing anything. Then he's fighting against this Japanese guy, Baki's father, Yujiro Hanma. Yujiro, he's terrifying. He's known as the world's strongest man.
They don't even consider him human.
It's crazy because it shows this battle. And yes, it's over the top. But if you look at the mentality, I don't want to give away too much of the episode because y'all got to watch it. But the main thing I want to get to, why I thought of that, is because this 140-year-old man, weak, frail, no muscles. I mean, in the show, they give him muscles, but it's because it's a show. But the point is, he looks like somebody who can't do martial arts. He looks like somebody, he kind of look homeless if you just let him, just like he's not going to make it. But he has the knowledge and understanding of his mind and his body and his spirit at that point in time. And it was very impressive because the idea was he had 100 years of experience.
100 years.
100.
We're not even at the 25% mark.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got people here at age 18, 19, at 30, at 60, who are capable, who just don't realize that they are. I think is, again, what we talked about in the last podcast, which you can listen to. Make sure you subscribe so you can hear it and get the notifications from us. But yeah, this 140-year-old man, just because he filled his mind up with so much knowledge and didn't focus so much on the body, because, as a Christian, we're supposed to give this is also spiritual, so we can get into that. I'm trying to keep it short, but we're supposed to give our bodies as a sacrifice to our Heavenly Father, just as his son Jesus did. And that's not to destroy you, it's to break you down to make you stronger.
I mean, we do that if we want to break that down a little bit more simply, like break you down to make you stronger. How do you get bigger muscles anyways? You have to go to the gym. You don't even have to go to the gym. You just have to use your muscles. The muscle fibers break down, and through rest, that's when they get stronger. That's when they can get stronger. Through the breaking down, you have to be broken down, and then you need rest.
Right. And rest. Let's talk about rest. So there's a long-term rest I took. It never was the phrase I've always wanted to, but it was just, I had at some point just kind of lost interest in a love for martial arts like I thought I had.
It's like a marriage.
It's like, oh man. And so when I'm not doing martial arts or training it, I'm not myself. Or if I'm not talking about it, if I'm not just immersed into it, I'm not myself.
And him saying that, find that thing that you can immerse yourself in that not just helps yourself, but helps other people. Because if you can immerse yourself into it, that's how, and like your body wants it, your mind wants it. And if you don't do this thing, you feel like you're dying. That is how you know that's your purpose.
And beyond that, I stopped because my mind and my spirit were being tested in ways, and I knew I needed to build that up. Because we've been working on the body for forever.
Yeah. And honestly, if we go back to that episode of Baki where you're talking about a 140-year-old man versus the strongest man in the world, right? That goes to show he has the mind and the spirit, but he didn't have the body.
But the fact that he has his body and knows how to move
his body. The body is not the most important thing.
Right. That's why, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Right? Perfect sense, right? And think about this. That man, I forgot his name. Who's the old dude's name? You'll see
I see his face.
Right. If you don't watch any other episode of Baki, it's a season 3 in the Raitai tournament. Yujiro Hanma versus this old guy. I forgot his name. But what if this guy who's been training, this old man, this master of martial arts, if he at 40 years old said, you know what? This is kind of like because of how I feel, my body, I'm going to stop training because I just don't feel the same way I do about martial arts. Then he wouldn't have became that person that he is now. So if you stop yourself from something, from your purpose, from something that you're yearning for, and it feels like there's resistance whenever you go towards it, you have to break through that resistance and go straight through it.
That's how you keep the longevity. That's what you're saying. That helps keep the longevity. And if you can't break through it at that moment, there's other ways around it. Like one thing, like I like to say all the time, is there's more than one way to dodge a jab.
Right. You can move this direction.
Move to the left. Move to the right. This direction. Move straight down.
Move back.
Use your hands.
You can go down. Shoot. That's not even using the hands. So why did you say that?
I said that because there's that point where you hit the resistance. And it seems like the resistance gets stronger when you seem to get closer to that goal, right? It feels easy. You can say like beginner's luck, like Paulo Coelho said in The Alchemist, like there's beginner's luck. But then what happens? There's a lot of resistance that's met.
Why do you think movies are so good? It's that climax. It's like, and that tension, and then that.
Either are they going to break through and have a breakthrough, or is that going to stop them?
Stop. Which one are you going to choose? Are you going to be one of those people that's just, I've always wanted to, but
I'm not strong enough.
I'm not flexible enough.
I'm not smart enough.
I just don't think I'll be good.
I've always wanted to, but I don't have the money.
But I don't have the time.
But I don't have the equipment.
But this, that, the third, put them excuses inside an AK-47. How far can we shoot them things?
You ain't got no bullets.
It'd just be blanks going straight down. Matter of fact, it might be falling down, but it's pushing you back. It has no power but to stop yourself and push you away from what your purpose is. See, if you don't break through that barrier of resistance, you're going to get stuck and it can slingshot you back. And I think the people, which is at one point why I stopped, I can say this from experience, people who are trying to reach that goal and trying to break through and really are having a whole lot of resistance, and this is a level they hadn't been on before, and how do I break through? They slingshot hard. It's because there's so much love that they want to get on the other side, but this thing is just feeling like it's too much in their mind.
There's some kind of fear, there's some kind of barrier, and literal barrier stopping you, so you create more barriers.
Right, not even realizing it.
You know what this is reminding me of? Actually, this past weekend had some black belts tests in Taekwondo.
Nice.
Some of them got their.
Did they get it? Some of them didn't.
No, everybody broke the board. They looked pretty good. But what it's reminding me of is breaking a board.
Breaking that resistance.
Of course, we heard Bruce Lee say that boards don't hit back, but boards are a great training tool to help you physically see the barrier that you have to go through.
Although that's a cold line right there. When you say it to somebody trying to show off to you, that was some good writing.
That was some good
All
writing.
he said,
boards don't hit.
Boards don't hit back.
Yo, that was yeah. Everybody's like, yeah.
But you're making a great point. You're making a great point.
So using the board as a training tool, this is one thing that you could take for yourself. You could find something that you're trying to break through, whether that's depression, anxiety, negative thoughts that plague your mind. Maybe it's something that you've just needed to be able to let go of, but you can't. This is one thing that you can do practically for yourself to start physically seeing and overcoming to be able to break those barriers. Just get a piece of paper. You can write the phrase, I've always wanted to, but you can put all your excuses on there. Or if it's just one thing you're trying to overcome and you want to focus on it, write that on that piece of paper. And what everybody has the capability of doing is ripping that sheet of paper.
I was going to say punch through it.
If you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to crumple it up, throw it away. But break that negative thought that you do not want living in the garden of your mind. Get rid of it.
You know what? Like, let's move on to this other point of discipline. Like, I'm going to ask you, you answer from your personal experience. Like I don't know you.
Do you know
what is discipline, and specifically self-discipline to you? How does that look?
So it's funny, where I teach martial arts, we break discipline down super simplistic. I
don't think I've heard this.
Yeah, it's easy. So self-discipline is doing what you're supposed to without being told.
It's some like child saying. But just like Bruce Lee said, great philosophy can teach the young and the old and everybody in between. And it's so simple.
So simple.
Like, and it's because, with my deep beliefs in Jesus is Christ and he's our savior, it's like he says some things that can be simple, but they're so complex. And also, God has these expectations, not really expectations, I should say, more so things that will please him, that will please him. And he put inside all of us to know what good is. That's why when I teach anybody, especially kids, I teach them this phrase, mind, body, spirit. I use my mind to think. I use my body to move. And I use my spirit to spread love. And the reason why the spread love part is very important is because that's channeling that source that God put into us to intuitively know what's good. So you say the phrase again?
Self-discipline is doing what you're supposed to without being told.
Such a just simple and profound saying.
Yeah,
Put that on the screen.
I know, right?
Let it sit there for a while.
So what is discipline to you in your experience?
Discipline, in my experience, it's pretty simple from what you just explained. Excuse me. But discipline to me is just being able to self-correct. Self-correction.
That's a big part, yeah.
There's this book he put me on. I'll let him talk about it. He already knows what it is. And then I'll talk about the book that I have. So go ahead, talk about Atomic Habits.
I was about to say it was
by James Clear.
Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you don't know what a habit is, this book breaks it down simplistically in 4 steps. Habits are what help us continue the longevity of what we want, what we don't want. Habits are how we get and make the building blocks and reach towards the goals that we want. And you don't even have to reach that far if you build a good system of habits. So all these habits that I've built up over the years, the good ones, I'm going to keep those. The ones that are not so good, it takes a long time to change them, because think about how many years I've probably done these habits.
I was in counseling.
Now it's changing, right?
I was in counseling, and one thing he was saying, in order to change a habit, it takes at least 6 months.
6 months. That's changing one habit.
One habit, let alone I want to do this, I want to do that, but then if I do this, and if I...
Oh, that's going back to our phrase, what we said.
I've always wanted to, but... So, talk a little bit more, because I think it was really cool, the idea of the self-correction, for what I see discipline as, the idea of that 1% growth. What, every day?
1% growth.
Every week? Every however much you said. I think in this day and age, we're so used to instant gratification. I can order something and it be here tomorrow. I don't even have to go to the store.
You could get your groceries, not even get up from your couch.
Now that just
we could make literal couch potatoes. You know what I mean?
Instacart couch potato.
Now the people working, they gotta do that.
They gotta move. But hey,
but the fact
they got a job during the pandemic is great. But
stay safe. You out there, wear a mask, face covering, all that. Stay safe.
Yes, please. So back to the 1% growth. I think because of this instant gratification era that we live in, people want to see exponential growth in the matter of 6 months, in a year, in even 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And
you can't change.
We've been doing martial arts for 23 years, and I'm just now feeling comfortable, not because I didn't know I was capable, but feeling comfortable knowing like, oh, I know something. I've always had the mindset of like, I'm a student. I'm learning. I need to constantly learn. I need to constantly get better.
And to learn and get better, self-correction is one of the best things you can do. If you don't know how to self-correct, go somewhere that somebody can help correct it. It's kind of like learning. It's like learning a language, right? Yeah, counseling is one, but like learning a language.
I do the one about the letters.
The letters?
Yeah, breaking down the alphabet.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I said this a little bit in the last podcast, but you really have to start from the basics. Really start building from those habits, knowing what those are. Habits become automatic. Let's say that again. Habits become automatic the more you do them. That's why we have habits, so that it can automate all these things. So we don't have to use brain power and allocate energy to something else. So we can use that brain power and focus it towards what we really prioritize or think needs to be. But say you have a bad habit and that's built in there, that's automatic.
Right. So
that actually brings me to the next point, but unless you want to talk about that book.
No, I don't know what the next point that you had was, but go ahead.
That's awareness.
Awareness. It's right there on the board. You see, I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware. See what happens? I could have known what he was talking about. The twin telepathy.
I literally told him too. The third point. We got 3 bullet points.
Awareness.
Open your eyes. That's right. So let me ask you, since you clearly weren't aware, what is awareness to you?
Awareness is let's say it depends on what context you're looking at it. So awareness of the mind, I'm going to break it down. Mind, body, spirit. Awareness of the mind. Where are you in your mental space? What does it feel like? What does it give you? What energy does it put into your body? Matter of fact, you can even take it a step further and visualize. What visualization is the state of my... I do this thing where if there's a habit that I want to break, I imagine the habit as a just dilapidated house that's taking up space in my mind. And I know in order to get rid of it, I got to clear it off and start with a new foundation. So I literally, to be aware of my mind, is this something that's happening? Is that? Give it something and destroy it and start off new.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness of the mind, awareness of the body. What's pain am I feeling?
That's important.
What tightness am I feeling in my body?
Are you aware of that tightness?
Am I aware of it? Am I just used to sitting like this?
Yeah, I've talked to plenty of people. They're like,
oh, you heard that?
Yeah, I just heard your neck pop. Look at you. You listening to that?
Ooh.
Okay. But I've talked to plenty of people where it's like, I can like put my hand on their shoulder, not during COVID, but I can put my hand on their shoulder and feel their tightness. And I'm like, do you feel how tense you are here?
Like, no.
Can you relax it?
It's normal.
No, I am relaxed.
Oh, this day and age, I'm going to turn towards the camera. And for all you listeners who just hear the audio,
Which one? This camera you looking at?
Make sure you subscribe. I'm the middle camera. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. We're going to put this up on YouTube and other platforms. But this day and age, this is what people do. Look at this.
I'm watching. I'm seeing you.
What am I doing?
You're looking down.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, you're aware of what's on your screen, what's on your phone, what's happening on the internet, but you literally don't have awareness of what's happening in the room around you.
Shoot, let's not even worry about the room. What is my body doing?
Your body is slouching over forward. You got all this. If your head's heavy, kind of like his head is, it's going to pull towards the ground.
I got a big head, too.
Give tension in the back of the neck here, which you really need to be able to release that tension to be able to think a little straighter. But that involves being aware that you're
doing that.
Aware that you're doing it.
Right. Anyways, I'll give a quick tip. If you feel that and you want to correct it, just study your basic human anatomy in your body. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things you need to know, knowledge you need to know. I paid attention in biology class, even though I fell asleep in it. I paid enough attention. And, we grew up with all nurses and doctors in our family.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
So we kind of just had a crash course of and seeing like different situations as far as understanding actual bodily functions, not just paying attention in class. One thing you can do to correct looking down at the cell phone.
Bring it up.
Get that chin. Get that straight. Get that alignment level on that spine. The spinal fluid needs to get to all those nerves.
I've always wanted to fix my posture, but this is tiring.
This is tiring. Guess what? You want to work on that bicep? Hold the phone up. You see that?
Yeah, you do work on that bicep.
Work on it and then practice this. This is something I've been practicing. A position that seems hard to hold. And in my mind, I say, this actually shouldn't be hard to hold. So then I should be able to hold this position and not be tired. Easily. Also, that's another different body awareness.
Also, it's not in human nature to be holding up something like this for a really long time anyways. Mm-hmm. So that probably means when you get tired, put your phone down.
Mm-hmm. Put it down. Awareness of mind, body. Last thing, awareness of spirit. What is going on within you? Within you.
When you say, okay, can you explain within you? What do you mean within you?
So there's this kind of just unseen force. Everything this is what Dr. Tony Evans, my wife, Charmaine, her pastor back in Dallas. Everything that is physical and visible is connected to something invisible and spiritual. Mm-hmm. As above, so below.
You can think about it like this. We look at a tree, we see the trunk, we see the branches, we see the leaves, but you don't see the roots that it's still connected to.
And so that spirit is the root. That's the source. Mm-hmm. The Holy Spirit. That's the source. Truly, if you want peace and from all other things, that's a true source. But as far as awareness of spirit, I'm aware that's a spirit I want to be flowing through me as much as possible.
The spirit of love.
There's a spirit of hate. There's
People
a
have
spirit
that
of
one,
anger,
yeah.
spirit of depression, all these other spirits that if you learn how to defend yourself spiritually, how to prepare your mind and your body,
They can just become a passing emotion that doesn't have to overtake you.
right. Right. So as far as awareness, I know that was very long-winded, but awareness of mind, awareness of body, and awareness of spirit.
And what he's saying, it starts from within to be able to see without, right? And you also then, to me, if I want to, you can add on to that more awareness of the people around you. How are you connected with them? How am I connected with my family members? Are we even aware that we're having a connection? Are we aware that we're disconnected? It really spreads so far.
It can go in so many ways. So let's circle back so we can wrap it up. I've always wanted to, but what's stopping you? What's stopping you from being that person you want to be? What thoughts are you running through your head constantly that then create images, that then create words that you produce and put out into the universe, that create real vibrations, not just an image that you can change up here, but a vibration that goes out and affects other things.
It's a real manifestation.
So if you want to keep on saying, I always wanted to, but you can keep your butt. Keep that butt. You can change it. You can change it by just saying, I am a martial artist. I am a fill in the blank. If you want to become better at something, already claim that you're that thing. Though you might not fully have the knowledge of it, when you put a camera in somebody's hand, they're a videographer.
Especially if they hit record, they recorded something.
You're a videographer.
Now think about if you do that habit of pressing record and recording something.
If you sit and train one punch, just a jab, boom, just train that, you are a martial artist. Mind you, you're a martial artist with one move, but you are training martial arts. Now, martial arts is more than just physical, like we've been talking about, mind, body, and spirit. Martial arts, if you train that spirit and your mind in different ways, give yourselves those challenges. Figure out what are those triggers that makes me do this habit if I want to start doing this habit. So now I need to make a different trigger so I can, so instead of saying I always wanted to, but I am a martial artist. I am a filmmaker.
You know what else
I
you
am
can
an
say?
actor.
Because, you know, some people will, it's a habit to say I've always wanted to, but you can change this habit to I've always wanted to, and
get rid of that but.
Just change it to and. I've always wanted to do bowling, and I will this Sunday.
Oh, you done changed the game.
He talks about that in Atomic Habits. You change one thing, 1%. We literally changed one thing.
One word.
And it changed everything.
And you see that feeling? You see the words that we've been saying, I've always wanted to. Now you're saying, I've always wanted to, and? What? So I've always wanted to be a martial artist, and I started listening to Martial Arts Mindset.
Say that one more time for the people.
I've always wanted to be a martial artist, and I subscribed to Martial Art Mindset.
Say it one more time for the people.
I've always wanted to be a martial artist, and I'm gonna share this video with somebody else.
No, but for real, thank you guys for listening to Martial Arts, this episode of Martial Arts Mindset. We hope that you were able to get some more tools, get some more perspective, get a martial arts perspective on different aspects of life.
So again, help us reach our goal to get 1 million people to start or continue if they've stopped their martial arts journey. Hit that link. Again, my name is Calvin.
My name is Kevin.
This is Martial Arts Mindset, and we are The Blasian Twins.